Nigeria has cemented its position as Africa's blockchain and Bitcoin leader. So what they're trying to do is create this transition into a digital currency and a digital-backed CBDC.
Join Lynette Zhang in unraveling the complexities of monetary systems, using Nigeria's economic landscape as a guide. Discover the shortcomings of traditional approaches to inflation and currency trust, while embracing the rise of digital currencies. Lynette advocates for prioritizing tangible assets like gold and silver for wealth preservation, empowering viewers to take control of their financial destinies. Now, let's listen to her.
We're going to hopefully debunk some stuff as we transition from one monetary system into another monetary system. And I frankly think that Nigeria is a great place to look at, because while people say, oh, well, that's just happening over there, this can't happen here, I think that there's a lot of value in looking outside of the country, your country of origin, to see what's really happening elsewhere, because it's all a big test to see what they can get away with and to keep you inside of the system to make the transition so that they can maintain control and you lose even more control. So let's just go right in and look at what's happening in Nigeria. Because as we've seen, even in the US, right? They raise the interest rates. What happens to spot gold? Spot gold drops, because getting that interest payment is so much more important than actually maintaining your stability, right? Well, I'm telling you right now, it is time to get to safety. And that safety is food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. Because these are the things that you and I need to sustain a reasonable standard of living. But let's jump in, because raising rates is supposed to attract fiat currency buyers. But wow, is it going to happen? Let's see. Nigeria's central bank chief faces biggest test yet in the rate call. And what did they do? They raised the rates by a substantial amount, 250 basis points. And yet, look at the inflation. It also hits a 3-decade high. Why isn't this working? Right? Certainly, it sends the economy into a tailspin, because who can afford to borrow at these rates? And that's the problem. All of these fiat money assets are debt-based. So you get to a tipping point, which actually we did in 97, where taking on more debt was no longer actually stimulating to the real economy. All it did was stimulate this money growth, and that is what generates the inflation. They want you to think how could that possibly generate inflation? Well, it's a whole lot more money out there chasing a finite amount of goods, because anything physical, there's a finite amount. So as the inflation is hitting a 3-decade high and Nigeria is raising the interest rates, they put their regime in jeopardy, because when people are hungry and hopeless, they make choices they would not otherwise make. And this could lead to a global revolution, which I think is highly probable. And actually, I'd like it to be a calm revolution. And you know how you do that? You vote with your wallets. You vote with your purses. And you take your wealth outside of the system and you move it to safety, physical, in your possession. Nigeria has cemented its position as Africa's blockchain and Bitcoin leader. So what they're trying to do is create this transition into a digital currency and a digital-backed CBDC. But they rank second globally on the adoption of digital assets last year. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. I don't think it's an accident, because what if all the wealth that's gone into Bitcoin went into spot gold, went into gold? What would that do, right? You would see gold at a substantially higher price. Maybe, maybe not, because they can create as many paper contracts and digital contracts as they want to. But all that really does is hide the true fundamental value of gold. Those that understand that, like, say the central banks that have been accumulating more gold than they ever have historically, right? They understand this, but they don't want the general public to understand it. I want you to understand it. This year, the adoption will continue with enterprise solutions, stablecoins, and regulations set to be among the main trends. Wow. One of the biggest stories we saw was a massive uptake in stablecoins. Well, we've seen that the name implies that their prices are just stable, but haven't we seen a number of them collapse? I've reported on that, so that's true. The mainstream adoption, so uptake in stablecoins and the mainstream adoption by African businesses and individuals. So what are they doing, right? Now, Nigerian Central Bank came out with a CBDC. And they have not been able to generate adoption. So rather than changing what they're doing, they're trying to come in like a Trojan horse because they know that stable coins are being adopted. So they're bringing out the e-Naira. The stable coin adoption could spell its doom this year. They're talking about the CBDC. I definitely do not want those that are in control to continue to have that control. Their central bank, in its first policy meeting since July, announced a supersized increase in interest rates to tackle runaway inflation and stem the collapse of the country's currency. They don't care about the country itself. They don't care about the population and their struggles and how they're starving. They just care that this will save the currency. You know what I think about? I don't care which currency you're looking at. Garbage. This is real money. This is real money. And it doesn't matter what the form is. Gold and silver at its base are monetary. You need to have it in as many forms as you possibly can. This is the most recognizable form. According to the blog post, the CNGN token is pegged 1-to-1 to the Nigerian Naira, the country's fiat currency, and it's backed by Naira reserves held in designated commercial banks. Wow, the currency is collapsing. How is this going to be a stable coin? I mean, you almost can't make this stuff up. It's really, frankly, laughable. Do you really think that that's going to instill confidence when the people are experiencing inflation at levels never before seen? I don't think so. And they hit a fresh record low despite that. I mean, this is the fresh record low. And look at, this is an overnight revaluation. Here's another overnight revaluation, and it continues to weaken. So this is all the interest rates them redoing the interest rates, and it ain't working. It ain't working. It's not working there. It's not going to work here. Ponzi schemes work until that confidence is lost. They're in trouble. This is spot gold. This is the US dollar to the Naira. It's up 882.24% over 10 years. This is spot gold. Again, manipulated, but it's up 1,401.79% over that same time period. What does that tell you? Which would you rather hold? Going into this fight, that battle that we're already in the middle of, there's no avoiding it. What do you want to hold? Because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. They can suppress, they can create as much gold that does not nor ever will exist as they want to, but that doesn't take away the truth. And when they do that overnight revaluation and they take this that has no intrinsic value and is used in one place and they reset it against gold, which is 100% intrinsic value because it is used in every single segment of the global economy.
Thanks for embarking on this exhilarating journey through the world of finance and economics. Don't miss out on future adventures. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay in the loop. Remember, the path to financial success is paved with knowledge and action. Keep fueling your curiosity. Keep making informed decisions and keep striving for greatness. Together, we'll conquer new heights and unlock endless possibilities. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep thriving.